Alright guys, my name is Samir Bhagwat. I work for Intrepid Control Systems, and in this video I'm gonna show you how to navigate ARXML files for some IP architecture. So EEA COM is a software which Intrepid Control System makes and sells. This software allows you to look into AUTOSAR ARXML files, and so this is kind of an overview of what EEA COM can do for you. Essentially, this software is a Windows-based application currently, and it allows you to look into ARXML files. So you can load, you can view them, you can edit them, you can even create a brand new AUTOSAR ARXML file. For example, you want to add a network endpoint, you can add an IP address, you can add the network endpoint, and you can assign that to different entities inside the Ethernet cluster. And the other capabilities here in this tool are also certain in exporting and importing from the traditional networks like DBC or LIN, LDF files. What that does is allows a very faster path for the traditional networks like CAN-FD to be converted to an ARXML file format. And this is a tool which is made for engineers who really know DBC side and CAN-FD side very well. And now they are just getting into service-oriented architectures like some IP, which is very well described and kind of authorable using AUTOSAR ARXML file. So in this tool, in the first view here, you can see a lot of easy to view entities here. For example, I want to see what all clusters are there in ARXML file. I can just click this area and look into all the clusters. We're going to focus on automotive Ethernet, so I'm going to just go ahead, click on Ethernet cluster. So if we expand this area, you can start navigating into how some IP architecture is described in ARXML files. So I have Ethernet cluster 1 here, and the short name is Ethernet cluster. We have one VLAN here, and if I double click on the VLAN, I can expand it to see the VLAN ID, and under the VLAN ID, you can start navigating into how you have some IP architecture in ARXML file. So first things to look at is the network endpoints. So there are, in this example file, and this file I really created in the same tool in EEA COM, I have 39 endpoints here. If you click on those endpoints, you should be able to see all the endpoint names, their IP addresses, and their configurations. You can further go ahead and navigate into different areas to understand what is in the ARXML file. So tomorrow when you are using Vehicle Spy or other software to test the traffic, what PDUs to look for, what signals to look for. Socket connection bundles tell you which sockets are connected, what clients and servers are connected, and what PDUs transact on those sockets. So in this case, we can look into one example here, looking into first socket here, ECM socket, and this is your server port. The server port socket address is your IP address 10.40.3.156. That's your server IP address. And to see which all clients are connected to that server socket, you can click on the client ports. At this point in time, you can either deep dive into PDUs which are described for some IP. For example, you can go and look into the service ID here. You can look into the method IDs, message type, and also further deep dive into what kind of call or get PDUs are associated with this and their data type associated. But EEA COM also provide an easier access to understand what kind of service-oriented architecture or some IP is described in ARXML file. So this is the services catalog, and I can click here and it will point me to every ECU and every provided service instance of that ECU. So for example, if I want to look at something like a provided service instance for a mirror service, for example, or a door window service from a BCM. These are all hypothetical ECUs. I just made them up and named some services based on basic vehicle behavior. And so if you look into, for example, mirror service, when you click on this service, the service ID 1D5 is a provided service instance from BCM on this cluster. And you can see these are all the consumers associated with that service. This means what methods this service provide are listed right here. And you can see the caller and return PDUs or IDs. When you want to deep dive into what events are supported in that service, then you are looking at a lower area here, which is called events, and you can see the events there. To know more about the event, for example, you can click on the event details. Now, in event details area, you can look into what kind of data type, min value, max value, or what kind of compute equation is supported, compute method is supported. Well, here we have 278 I signal I PDUs defined, and their characteristics and their behavior is shown in this area. Similarly, if you want to just look from the perspective of signals, you can click on signals and look at all the signals available in the AUTOSAR ARXML file. There are some other cool features here. For example, I'm working, for example, on a specific ECU. Then for me, I want to know from my ECU's perspective, what is my participation on the Ethernet cluster or CAN cluster. In that case, I'm going to go ahead and look into the ECUs area here. And this is, for example, list of ECUs. When I click on, let's say, ABS ECU, I can look into what all clusters that ECU belong to. And then I can look into all the PDUs this ECU is associated with. For example, the PDUs which it is in the TX direction, it transmits the PDUs or it receives those PDUs. And then we'll also show you what clusters that PDU is transacted on. There are a lot of other areas here for the way you can use the tool is in various different ways. Some of the features which I personally use is for an export feature. You can click on the tools area and provide exporter or export out certain areas of the AUTOSAR ARXML file, and we provide a lot of flexibility there. Or for example, I want just a list of endpoints, then I can output a list of endpoints. I guess if you have more questions, talk to me or talk to anybody at Interpret Control Systems. My name is Samir Bhagwat, and I'm product manager for EEA COM, and looking forward to more interaction with you guys on AUTOSAR ARXML and some IP. Thank you very much.